Well, speaking of thank you, Dr. Griffin. And speaking of pathways, you have at your place the pathways brochure that we've, or I should say, item that we've sent out to the entire district. We did that again in partnership with the University Center, and really successful. They split up some of the costs with us, so we worked that out with them. And we just think it's all part of this pathways model we're trying to develop where, we, for example, I know Rich and a team attended just a few months ago a whole pathways workshop together that was part of AACC. We're doing a lot. And this week, another piece of that pathway also was the signing of a agreement with the University of Illinois at Chicago. And I'll just say I have to give all the credit to Rich Cheney and maybe he'd say it's Karen Lavin, really.
Yeah.
So we all talked about at the cabinet how we wanted to create these pathways where students would know exactly where they're going and they can have assurances. You probably all saw the article about the one with ASU that we've set up, and actually the CEO of the paper sent me a note about it saying I can step up. So, Rich, do you want to talk about what you did with UIC here this week?
Well, ultimately what we're trying to do, and again, I want to give so much credit to Karen Lavin and some of the folks that she works with, but what we're trying to do is to identify clear pathways for students, and they're not only getting guaranteed admission, they're getting support when they're here at CLC for that transfer into these guaranteed admission programs. So again, it's just really trying to ease that transfer into the universities. So Karen and her folks have just done an outstanding job, and I just couldn't be prouder.
Where is Karen?
Just hiding in the back.
Karen, stand up and take a bow. Very good.
Can I ask you a question about this? I think this is awesome. Congratulations for all your hard work. Just a real question though, because now ASU has been promoting the concept that they're doing fully online degrees. So you can transfer into that part of the institution as well. So I mean, that makes it more affordable for
Yes.
people. So it's not just private institutions. You can do it where you don't have to have a lot of
And one
outlay.
of the things that's unique about the ASU model is they're guaranteed admission in all of their colleges.
Yes, I saw that all programs.
And that is just unheard of. And I do think that it'll put additional pressure on other partners to come forward and do the same.
Yeah, this is terrific.
I was at the end. We have this 1 Million Degrees program that we've talked to you about. I went to the final session of it, and one of the students got up and said, she's already applied to that American Business School in Paris.
Yeah.
That's where she's going.
That's great.
But it's part of that, and it's an automatic admission. So
I might go back and get it.
So we'll
Check your GPA.
Yeah. Well, we might need to go. We'll do a visit. See how they do. Okay. I just wanted to mention that I think it's really great, and thank you for the compliments from the board. Now for something a little more, unfortunately, down to earth is the state funding, and we talked a little bit about it when we talked about the budget, but there were bills filed just 3 or 4 hours ago. I talked to our lobbyists about it. I talked to Cheryl Laxley quite a bit about it. I asked her to check to see what was in there for community colleges and CLC, and she found some of the funding for community colleges, but she couldn't validate exactly what was in there. But she did find our project for the science building is in there for the $17,400,000. And so that's in the stopgap bill that's proposed by the governor. There's both a Senate version and a House building that are mirrors of each other that have been filed by Durkin and Radoniel. And so that's good news. Just in case, though, later on you're going to vote on our sort of backup plan in case something goes wrong and that doesn't come through. And Cheryl, actually, it was good to say that our legislators helped getting our project in there, because not all of them are in there. So that was really good. So good news there on that piece. We'll find out more. There's been, like I say, a lot of stories. You've seen them all too in the press. You've seen all kinds of stuff. Dr. Griffin, I know, has been talking to Senator Morris, and I've been talking to Senator Link. And in fact, we were joking that I was stalking him. I've been talking to him so many times. And we're contacting our other legislators. I know Dr. Griffin was talking to Carol Sante. I've talked to her. I talked to Senator Bush. So we're talking to all of them about our needs, and we don't want to get to this point that we mentioned earlier where the funding is so low that we have to go back and look at something as drastic as layoffs or furloughs or whatever. So we need to get a good level of funding. So that's coming along, and we'll keep you apprised. We'll know more when they get a chance to really scan those bills over the next couple of days, and we'll know more of their content. They really are talking this week that they'll do a transportation bill. I think Bill told me that Senator Morris said it was a 90% chance, and I've been hearing that too. And then it looks like next Wednesday or Thursday they'll do the stopgap bill, unless, of course, everything goes apart. But anyway, that's what they're on target to do. So we'll find out more about it. I wanted to then mention also that sometimes some people are more dedicated to the college than others, and Andy Williams apparently is in the resignations here. Is Andy here? No, that's too bad. Oh, man, that's too bad. Okay, of course he is. Well, I'll let Ken make a comment just to say you miss him.
Yeah,
good man.
Disappointed that he's leaving, but it's a great opportunity for him. I know he's kind of being groomed for the CFO position there, and yeah, so he's excited. But their gain will be our loss, but we'll do our best to quickly recruit and fill the position, and we'll make sure we send them off in the appropriate way.
Yeah. So one other thing I wanted to point out was that Congressman Roscom is confirmed again to be on the campus tomorrow, Wednesday at 3:30. So if any of you want the main topic we're going to talk to him about, it's an important one for us, is the year-round Pell Grants. So we'll have the AACC and ACCT provide a lot of materials on that, so we'll be looking those through and talking with them about it. So tomorrow. If you plan to attend the event, just let me know or let Karen know, and that's fine, or just show up. And that concludes my remarks. The rest, we're going to move into the reports, and I'll start with Dr. Sean Hogan.
Can I bring something
Yeah,
up first?
please.
One event that we didn't talk about that happened since the May meeting was the Veterans Memorial event.
Oh, yeah.
And I wanted to mention that I admit it's the first one I ever attended here, and I was really, really impressed, starting with Dorothy O'Connor, who did the national anthem, which was wonderful. But the remark that was made during, so Trustee Anderson, Trustee Kerrigan, and I were at this event, and it was a wonderful, respectful tribute to veterans everywhere. But one of the comments that one of the speakers made was they didn't think any of the other community colleges in the state had a veterans memorial like we did, and they were asking if we would promote this at other community colleges in the state.
So we did. We went to ICCTA and had them do a survey, and it turns out there were about, that's sort of true. At Illinois Eastern, that has like these 4 little campuses, but each one of them has a memorial. And then there was one other, I think. So there are only a few in the state who have the memorials, but we aren't the only one.
Right, but it's really, it's a good, I'm conveying the message because maybe in this wider audience, it'll get some traction. And I thought it was a great idea. It was a wonderful event that we had, and if more people would do the same and express gratitude like that, it would be a good thing. So anyone who has the ability to spread that message, I think it's worth stating.
Yeah, and then next year we hope to be outdoors in our new place, and we're also have a committee, Derek's leading it now, and Dr. Healy and I are on it, and others in our art faculty are on it, and we're looking at finishing out there with a war memorial. So I've been showing to Bill some of the options for it, and I also showed some of the Rich Anderson, because he's a veteran. And we're still kind of looking at that, but we'll bring them to the board. We're still narrowing in, and we're going to collect a few more, and then we'll bring you a bunch of options, and then you tell us what you kind of think, so we'll bring it forward.
Isn't there an official designation as being a veteran-friendly institution?
Yeah, that's correct.
We are.
We are,
And there are several of those across the state as well.
yeah.